Then we have another thing where Brittney Griner says that said something about that effing white girl. Now, can you imagine the outrage if Caitlin Clark said those things? That injuries that black girl was running.
The WNBA finds itself drowning in yet another controversy that perfectly encapsulates everything wrong with how the league treats its biggest star. Shocking footage appears to show Brittney Griner calling Caitlin Clark an effing white girl after fouling out against the Indiana Fever. Yet the league, which has profited enormously from Clark's star power, continues to turn a blind eye to the systematic targeting and harassment of the player who has single-handedly saved their struggling organization.
She said, but the way people are taking it is that she said some very disrespectful stuff. All right, so let's take a look at what she is saying right here. I'm not a lip reader, but it looked like right here she says, effing white girls. Oh man, effing trash, effing white girls. Effing trash right there. Effing white.
What unfolded on Thursday night during the Indiana Fever's 81-76 victory over the Atlanta Dream was nothing short of disgraceful, though sadly not surprising for anyone paying attention to how WNBA players treat Caitlin Clark. Brittney Griner, the same player who was traded for the Russian Merchant of Death and became an international incident, apparently couldn't handle being outplayed by a 22-year-old point guard who weighs about half as much as she does.
The post from Brittney Griner, and I don't. One thing I don't understand is that, like, there is some kind of flimsy evidence, I guess. Like, we're not lip readers. We're not lip readers. She probably says trash. Like, it sounds like she has said. It looks like what it apparently says is effing what.
After struggling mightily throughout the game, managing only 5 points in 25 minutes, Griner found herself ejected for accumulating too many fouls. But instead of walking off the court with the dignity expected of a professional athlete, cameras caught what appeared to be Griner mouthing the words trash and effing white girl in reference to Caitlin Clark. Let that sink in for a moment. A veteran player, someone who should be setting an example for younger athletes, resorting to racial slurs simply because she couldn't handle being outplayed by someone half her size.
Did not watch the game in its entirety. Brittney Griner fouled out late in the fourth, and she was in foul trouble the whole game. The referees was definitely calling everything on her. Even though the Indiana Fever really didn't get a chance to shoot a bunch of free throws that game, they was making specifically calls against Brittney Griner, and she was getting frustrated about it, man. Now, footage has surfaced, a couple different takes on this clip as well as to what she actually said. Some people said she didn't call Caitlin Clark a effing white girl. Some people say that she said what a effing whack call. At the end of the day, she said something.
The footage, which has since gone viral across social media platforms, shows Griner's apparent outburst clear as day. While lip reading isn't an exact science, the visual evidence is damning enough that even casual observers can see what appears to be happening. This isn't some ambiguous gesture or unclear audio. This is a professional athlete seemingly using racial language against a fellow player simply because she couldn't handle her own poor performance on the basketball court.
Now, it appears that Brittney Griner has been caught on video. And yes, there's a certain amount of lip reading that's going on here, but y'all let you be the judge, because I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to try to decipher what it is Brittney Griner was saying. By the way, she fouled out of a WNBA game against Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever. She plays for the Atlanta Dream now. So here we go. Brittney Griner, who Joe Biden acquired 2 years ago and maybe the most lopsided trade of all time, this side of Deshaun Watson, was caught on camera saying what appeared to be some not very nice things about white girl Caitlin Clark during her little WNBA game last night.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. What makes this incident even more infuriating is the context in which it occurred. Caitlin Clark didn't even have a spectacular night by her standards, scoring just 11 points in the victory. This wasn't a case of Clark dropping 30 points and embarrassing Griner in front of a national audience. This was simply a case of one player doing her job, while another completely lost her composure and apparently resorted to language that would get any other employee fired from any other workplace in America. But the Griner incident wasn't even the only controversy involving Caitlin Clark in that same game, perfectly illustrating the hostile environment she faces every single night she steps onto a WNBA court. During the same contest, Clark also had an altercation with Ryan Howard that resulted in both players being assessed technical fouls. The league's response? Both players received matching $30 fines, as if they were equally responsible for whatever transpired between them. Think about that for a moment. The WNBA looked at an altercation involving their biggest star and another player and decided that a $30 fine, the equivalent of pocket change for professional athletes, was appropriate punishment for both parties. But when Brittney Griner appears to use racial slurs against that same star player, the league's response has been complete silence.
A lot of very, very racist women, right? These are racist women who were told that they were God's gift to women's basketball, that they were black, and because of that, they are better than white people at sport. That's the one area that they can succeed over white people in sports, right? And this is their league, right? Then you got a young, the stereotypical white girl, pretty, skinny, is better than it comes into the sport and becomes the Michael Jordan, LeBron James of the sport. The face gets more publicity on one than they ever got in some of their playoff, any of their games ever. Brings more money. They are extremely jealous and won't say it. They want to make it like it's typical basketball. But no, they have made it very clear. Angel Reese, the Brittney Griners, nobody cared about their league.
This represents the kind of selective enforcement and double standards that have become the WNBA's calling card when it comes to protecting Caitlin Clark. When Clark is involved in any kind of physical altercation, the league is quick to assign equal blame and hand out matching punishments, as if the player who has revolutionized their sport is somehow equally responsible for every negative interaction she experiences. But when other players cross lines that should never be crossed in professional sports, the league suddenly develops a case of selective blindness. The $30 fine for the Howard incident becomes even more laughable when you consider what Caitlin Clark brings to the WNBA financially. This is a player whose very presence can turn a Tuesday night game into a cultural event, whose jersey sales have broken league records, and whose games consistently draw television audiences that other WNBA contests can only dream of achieving. Yet the league treats her like any other player when it comes to punishment, while refusing to protect her when she becomes the target of truly inappropriate behavior. What we're witnessing with both the Griner incident and the broader treatment of Caitlin Clark isn't isolated behavior. It's part of a systematic pattern of targeting that has become so obvious it's impossible to ignore.